ओम सहना ववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। नारायणं पद्मभवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपादं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमदास्य शिष्यं श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमतास्य पद्म पादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यं तं तोडकं वार्तिककारमन्यान् अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। I can see you. सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्त गोचरं तमगोचरं गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। The student should approach the teacher, and the teacher should be one who is familiar with how to teach this knowledge, because it is important that the knowledge needs to be imparted in the appropriate way as is suitable according to the maturity of the student. Just like a doctor would not give the same medicine to all, even though the medicine that he gives must be one which will be curing the disease of the patient. But at the same time, he must take into account what allergies that patient would have. Don't you? They ask, what are your allergies? Penicillin allergy and this and that. So the student's maturity is very important. And accordingly, the teaching should be given. That is why we find Brahma Vidya is one only. But every Upanishad will approach the same subject in different ways. Ekam sat bahuta vadanti vipraha. The truth is one, but vipraha, men of wisdom, bahuta vadanti. In different ways they speak about it, according to the time of the teaching, the quality of the student, and the methods that are adapted are different. So here it is said, the student who is approaching the teacher, upaside gurum pragyam yasmad bandha vimokshanam, in verse number 32. Upasidet, approach. Gurum, to the teacher. Prajnam Gurum, one who has Prajna means there are two ways of looking at this. Prayena Ajnaha api Prajnaha. Prakarshena Jnaha iti api Prajnaha. Prajnaha eva Prajnaha. Meaning one who is a knower of the highest truth in its complete essence and clarity. Why does he need to go to Guru? Yasmat, from whom? Bandha vimokshanam. There is a release from bondage. Complete release from the bondage. And that alone can be lasting happiness. In fact, whenever we are feeling, lost or unfulfilled and angry or whatever, we are actually closer to bondage. And the other day also, I was telling about this, right? When we are angry, we are actually away from ourselves. That's why we shout. Not only to the person, we ourselves are distancing ourselves from ourselves. And because of that very reason, we want to get back to our own real self, which is peaceful. So nobody is comfortable with anger. Are you saying I'm comfortably angry? No, I'm comfortably greedy. It's also not there. So greed, anger, lust, passion, all these things are making us move away from our own center. So we are trying to get back. So anytime you move away from yourself, it is said that is bandhanam, bondage. So who is that Guru who can completely eradicate all the possible causes by which I would ever go away from me? All the reasons that will make me go away from me should be removed. Anger, lust, passion, greed, jealousy, these are all effects, not the cause. The cause is ajnana. Cause is ignorance. See, I do not know that my own nature is Ananda. And when I am seeking to get that Ananda from something else, that is ajnana. Because of the ignorance, when you go after an object, and if you don't get it, you are angry. If you get it, then you're greedy. When instead of you, somebody else is getting, then jealousy. And you get it more and you want more and more and getting caught into that. That is moha. So desire, kama, krodha, anger, lobha, greed, moha, delusion, matsarya, jealous. All of them are from what reason? That I don't know. I am by nature Anand. So the teacher does not solve the kama, krodha, lobha, moha one by one. He's not going to solve anger, then lust, and then passion, and then greed and delusion. No, he will go to the root. What is the root cause of all this? Why are you moving away from yourself? Because I am not able to find my true nature, and I always look for my own satisfaction in something else. So that is why I said, Yasmat bandha vimokshanam, complete eradication of all the possible causes for this bandha. And so the teacher, the Guru, must, what is this qualification? That is also we completed last time. Shrotriyo vrajino kama ato yo brahma vituttamaha. Shrotriyaha, meaning one who has heard the correct knowledge from his own teacher. He is the one who can convey the knowledge. Because he also walked the path of delusion, confusion, anger, lust, passion, and then he found the release from the teacher's words and teaching, and having understood how he solved his own problem with the help of his own teacher, such a person alone can guide other person. Hey, I also went through that. That's not new to me. See, example may be a little funny. A doctor need not have to go through all the sickness to give you the medicine, right? If you come with stomach ache, and if I'm a doctor and you come up with stomach, I never had the stomach ache, I can't solve your problem. That's not going to be the case. So Shrotriya means not only one who has gone through his own issues and overcome that, also he knows how others have gone through the problem and solved it. That is there in the scriptures. So scriptures are helpful in knowing the methods which you need not have gone through. I need not go through smoking for 20 years and then learn that smoking causes cancer. I don't need to do that. I can learn from others' mistakes also. Similarly, how the men of wisdom have recorded their own experiences, that is called Aptavakya. Aptavakya means those people who have learned through their own experiences and recorded that information. That is what is called Shruti. So one who has read the Shruti, Shruti means two things. One who heard from his own teacher and solved problems of his own. One who has heard the scriptures and understood how those things which I have not gone through can be solved if it happens to somebody else. Shrotriyo avrajinaha. One who has come out of all the impurities, negativities of his own mind. Akamahataha. Akamahataha means one who is not pained by desires, one who is not persecuted by desires. Brahmavid Uttamaha, and also the knower of the best of the knowers of the knowledge of the Brahman. And such a person alone can impart that knowledge. Brahmani Uparada Shanta. And such a person is able to remain peaceful with himself, Brahmani, in that Brahman. Uparataha, reveling, withdrawn, Shanta, peaceful. And the beautiful example is given what? Nirindana iva analaha. Fire without fuel. What a nice example. Fire cannot be burning unless there is fuel. When fuel is removed, how the fire which is burning and blazing becomes slowly quiet. Gone. So you cannot add on fuel and expect the fire not to be there. Similarly, when we have so much of desires continuously being entertained by us and then make the mind restful, is it possible? The restlessness of the mind is caused by the desire, and so long as you are inputting the desire, there will be no quietude of the mind. And the world around us is, what is it doing constantly? Adding more and more fuel only. More and more desires are only marketed all the time. 13 has come and 14 is going to come, right? Apple 14. By the time you buy 13 and walk out of the shop, there is an advertisement for 14. I just now got the 13. Now again one more. There's no end to it. By the time you finish your retreat for December, you're going to Hawaii, let us say. By the time you got out of your, what do you call that, your cruise, they'll give another flyer. Next summer, I have this also for you. Discount because you traveled with us this winter, so you have a 10% discount. What is that? Another desire. There is no end. So that's why here beautifully said, Nirindana analahi eva shanta. Yata indana abhave agnihi shantaha jwala shunyah bhati tada analambida bahya vrittitvat shantaha nirgune brahmani parinishthata chittatvat shantaha nirvikara ityartha. What do we mean by this example of fuel, fire without fuel? Analambita bahya vrittitvat. Such a beautiful way. No support from the external object that can potentially create thoughts. Analambita. Alambana means support. Analambita bahya vrittitvat. A person who is abiding in his own self does not consciously entertain thoughts that are being pumped in by the world outside. And in fact, he doesn't have any support. He doesn't give support to those thoughts. It is said in Gita also that when the rivers go into the ocean, ocean never rises up. Isn't it? How much ever quantity of river get into the ocean, ocean maintains its level. Apuryamanam achala pradishtam samudramabha pravishanti yatvat. Just as Pravishanti enters what? Apuryamanam achala pradishtam. Even as the nadis, various rivers are entering into it, achala pradishtam, remaining same. In the same way, a person who has gained the inner peace is one who does not entertain or support vrittis coming into him, born out of the external objects. Analamba bahya vrittitvat shantah. Nirgune brahmani parinishtitaha. Parinishtita chittatvat. The mind is abiding in its own self, shantah. See, it is similar to when we go to sleep also, where the mind has withdrawn from all things. It is not no more entertaining any external objects. Even if it is interesting, we'll say tomorrow. Right? Because even if it is very important thing that you need to take care, abhi nahi, main sona hai. Not now, I have to sleep tomorrow. How are you able to give up that? Because your desire to enjoy the quietude of the sleep is overwhelming. That is why you are able to give up. Right? Otherwise, you are so proactively engaging in world. But when it comes to the state, say, can you compromise sleep and do something? You can do a day, maybe 2 days. Afterwards, at around 12 o'clock, I come to knock at the door. Yes, we'll have a Vedanta discussion now. Swamiji, something wrong with you? What? I have to sleep. So even Vedanta you can ignore when it comes to sleep. So that ananda that we get in the sleep is incomparable, right? It cannot be given by anything else. We know it. Even Vedanta cannot give. That much people say that. But it's not true. That ananda, brahmananda swarupa, when they avatishtataha, avatishtita, chittatvat, shantaha, nirvikaraha. There is no modification in the mind. And here beautifully the Bhashikar says, Atra shrotriyatvadinam visheshananam vyavartakatvam nasti brahmavittame ashrotriyatvasya papasya kamahatatvasya cha asambhavitatvat. He says, when it is said that he must be a person who has good amount of grip over the knowledge of the scriptures and also must have no more being, he is no more being hurt by desires, etc. These are all not Visheshanas. These are all not the special characteristics. It is indeed for a person who is abiding in the self, these are all natural. Vastutaya, Vastusattaya, Desham, Tadrisha, Guru, Nyapakatvam, Sambhavati eva, Swarupa Lakshanatvam eva, Mantavya. This is to be understood as its nature. So it is not that one has become scholar and this and that and then has reached the abode of Brahman. No, when one reaches the abode of Brahman, his ability to understand the scriptures become Like Gurudev would say, duck to water. It's no more a hardship for him. Gurudev has said very beautifully, duck to water means what? You don't need to teach the duck how to swim. Do you have to? A fish born in water need to be learning how to swim. It's interesting that all other living being animals, they are not taught how to walk, how to fly. Huh? Are they taught? Any training program? As soon as they are born, they're ready. But human being, even to walk, you have to teach them. Isn't that true? Walking, what do you call?
Walker.
Walker?
A walker.
Walker is when the old people get it.
No.
Even they have a walker.
Walker.
Walker training.
Yeah.
Even to walk, you have to train the human being. How stupid he is. A bird does not need to be taught how to fly, or a fish to swim, or a horse to run, or a lion to hunt. So, in the case, I'm just giving that as an example, but in the case of a Mahatma, there is no more hardship in understanding the scriptures. It is said that when Sri Ramana Maharshi, who has not gone through any of this great tradition of learning from a teacher, etc., but he has reached the abode of the Brahman. And afterwards, there are many scholars were around him. Why they were there? Only to confirm what he has realized is what is said in scriptures. Meaning, they want a confirmation from the person. What is said in the scriptures in this way? Do you agree with this? One day, it is said the scholars were noticing that Ramana Maharshi was reading Vivek Chudamani seriously. So they were a little curious and went and asked him, Bhagavan, what are you reading? I'm just saying how Shankaracharya is explaining the state where I am. Not out of arrogance, huh? Because there's already reason. So for him to understand the scriptures is so easy. Because why? It is his own experience. So such a person, it is swabhavikam. And here also it is said that the last line is aheduka daya sinduhu. Aheduka daya sinduhu bandhuranamatam sadham. The guru must be one who is the ocean of compassion without any reason. Aheduka. Na vidyate heduhu yasyaha sa aheduki tadrishiyataya. Paradukka prahana icha tasyaha sinduhu ashraya ityartha. See, daya means compassion. Compassion. Now, aheduka daya means causeless compassion. Why is it? What do you mean by causeless compassion? See, here he explains, itarasya dayalorapi daya anyatra dukkha darshanena swasya vijata dukkatva tan nirasartam hyahetuka iti. See, when somebody is in suffering, somebody is going through some suffering, when you look at that person and you also feel the suffering, right? So if somebody lost the father or mother or brother or wife or whatever, so you feel, or any other such tragedy, you feel and you take the dukkham, take the tragedy to yourself, and because of that reason, you have a feeling of compassion. In other words, you participate in the dukkham or the sorrow of that person, and because of which you have a sympathy. But that is not the case here. Ahetuka, without any reason. And beautifully put. You know why? He says, Asyatu jnana mahimna swadahava paratova dukkha aprasakte kevalam janaha tarantu samsara vartim iti icha param vittana kali iti bhavana. In the case of a realized soul, a wise person, when he looks at the people and understand, may these people also cross over the ocean of samsara, and if I can help them, let me do so. Asyatu jnana mahina swadaha va parato va dukkha aprasakte. Even though he's untouched by the dukkham of all others, kevalam janaha, only these people, tarantu, let them cross samsara vardhim, the ocean of samsara, ocean of worldliness. Iti icha, thus that desire, param vittana kali bhava. As soon as he comes out to be in the world, he comes to see the people, how they are out of their own absence of right choices, suffering. Not that he is getting into that situation. That's why he said, he is not getting it. Oh, you are all suffering. Let me also suffer. Not that way, but looking at the choices that they have, but they are not making the choice. It is like a person who is dreaming, and in the dream he is going through some tragedy and is crying. You are awake. What will you do? What will you do? You also cry. He's going through the wrong. Oh, first thing, get up. Wake him up. Where you are not participating in the dukkham, right? Because you know that there's nothing like that. See, that is the reason when Arjuna was saying, I cannot fight the war. Oh, I'm shivering all over my body. I cannot do it. What was Bhagavan saying? Krishna was doing? Smiling. Prahasan. That smile is not mockery. Huh? Don't think that he is making mockery of it. Ah, what foolishness. No. He's not woken up yet. That's just a smile. So that is what it is saying here. Let them also cross over this ocean of change. So that is why next word is put bandhu. Aheduga saya sindhu bandhu. Anamatam bandhu. Bandhu means a relative. Who is a relative? Dukkhaharakaha ityartha. A relative must be one who would be able to help you when you are in trouble. Not the one who causes maximum trouble to you. Such a person is not relative. That's why I say, friend indeed and is friend indeed. You know, friend in need is friend indeed. Whose need? Friend's need or your need? Well, a friend who is always in need is not your friend. In your need, if he is able to help, then he is a friend. So, who is a bandhu here? Dukkhaharakaha. Kesham anamatam satam prahvi bhavatam satpurushanam ityanena shishyasya lakshanam parignyaya eva te upadishanti iti suchitam. Anamatam means those who have come to seek this knowledge very humbly to them. Naman karna means to salute. Namaskar. Anamatam, those who have come to surrender. Here, surrender should not be taken as a slavery. Surrender should be taken in the form of receptivity. First and foremost qualification of the student, apart from Viveka, etc., is acceptance that I don't know. If you don't think I know everything, I want to test whether you are able to. It is not, students should not go to the teacher to find out how much teacher knows. No, how much I don't know, which I will come to know by his grace. That should be the attitude of the student. So here, that's what he says. Anavatam sadam prahvi bhavatam. That ability to humbly request. Satpurushanam iti anena shishyasya lakshanam. Shishyasya lakshanam, the student's qualification is what? to be able to surrender to the teacher, to that student, bandhuhu, bandhurana satam. It is said, Suryade kila tatra na asuyaka yaha asuyakaya anrujave kshataya. It is said, the knowledge should not be given to the one who is belittling the teacher and his teaching, and one who is crooked. Asuyakaya Anrujave, Ruja means straight, Anruja means crooked. To the person who has crooked intentions, or the one who is belittling the student teacher or the teaching, or shata, stupid, this knowledge should not be given. Why are we wasting time? Idam asishyaya na deyam. Asishyaya na deyam. One who is, it is that one person went to a doctor, and the doctor diagnosed him and said that I have diagnosed your problem. I am giving you a list of medicines. This is the list for you. And there is a pharmacy here downstairs. You go and buy the medicines. My charge is $200 for the diagnosis. So he gave $200. His friend was there. Said, you give $200 to this doctor for just 10 minutes of looking at you? That's too much, don't you think? So that patient said to his friend, he has to survive also. That is his job, profession. He has to survive. That's why he gave. Okay. He went down to the pharmacy, and the pharmacist looked at it and the list of it, and he started putting everything in a box and gave it to him. $100. Give $100. Over $100 for the medicine? What to do? That is his profession. He has to survive also. I give $100. Okay. On the way, he threw that into the dustbin, everything, the prescription. What did you do now? No, I have to survive. So such a person cannot be cured. One who listens but does not follow, one who is stupid, one who is crooked, to him this knowledge should not be given because he does not have the value for this knowledge. Ashishyaya nadeyam. Smaryate cha Gitayam. In Gita also Bhagavan Krishna has said, idam te na tapaskaya na bhaktaya kadachana na cha shushrusave vachyam na cha mam yobhyasuyati. Idam, this knowledge, na atapaskaya, one who has not done austerities correctly, na abhaktaya, the one who is not having devotion, kadachana, at any time, na acha asushrusave, one who does not know how to serve a teacher, vachyam na cha mam, na vachyam, not to be taught, mam yaha abhyasuyati, one who is belittling me, the knowledge. To such a person, this knowledge should not be imparted. This is not to say the guru will ignore such a student, he will prepare him. That's why I said, there are varieties of different students will come to the teacher, but not all of them are of the same qualification. What a person in the front row who is very eager to learn will understand, from the same words, other person won't understand. So he must keep in note, he's not getting it. I have to treat him so he's not still qualified. We have to create the correct qualification in his mind, and he will also come to the same speed as the others. But one who is not ready to accept and not ready to change, what will you do that? So to such a person, this knowledge, idam upasadanam samipamagamanam. Therefore, the student should be coming closer to the teacher. Then what the student should do, that is given in the next verse, verse number 34. Tamaradya gurum bhaktya.
Tamaradya gurum bhaktya.
Prahva prashraya sevanaihi.
Prahva prashraya sevanaihi.
Prasannam tamanuprapya.
Prasannam tamanuprapya.
Prichet jnatavyam atmanah.
Prichet jnatavyam atmanah.
Tamaradya gurum bhaktya prahva prashraya sevanaihi. Prasannam tamanuprapya prichet jnatavyam atmanah. Atmanah jnatavyam prichet. What has to be known about oneself should be asked. You know, Gurudev used to say, nowadays, gurus are available over phone, mobile phone or whatever phone. Hey, Guru, yes, I have a question. Over the phone. You know, nowadays what happens when I tell people, from January onwards, Vivek Chodamani class, for all those people who are living within the 40 miles radius should be in person. Why not Zoom, Swamiji? Why not Zoom? Zoom, much of a Zoom. What happens is that there is laziness. Who will come in the traffic all the way there? We have our work time, very hard to come and that, all sort of excuses. What here he says is, real teaching will happen only in the physical presence of a teacher. Because what effect that words will have in the physical presence of the teacher cannot be replaced at all. So here, traditionally what he said is, Tam Gurum Bhaktya Aradhya. Having approached a teacher with adoration to him, Prahvaha, with humility, Prashraya Sevanaihi, and serving the teacher with all humbleness, Tam Prasannam Anuprapya, having gained the grace of the teacher, then Atmanah Jnatavim Prachit. Then ask questions. Not before. As I said, Guru, I have a question. Nowadays, the Guru is also very funny. Acha, chalo, मैं phone में बात करूँगा. And I'll tell you by phone. Very funny. Yeah. So what is that? Bhaktihi pujeshu anuraga. What is that bhakti here means? There is the reverential attitude towards people who are to be revered. That is bhakti here. Manasa dharma. It is the attitude of the mind. Taya, with that, bhaktya, prahvaha, humility. Tad vyanjaka akara vishishtaha. The bhakti that one has is being externally manifested in the form of humility. See, if I revere, adore someone or something, in that presence of that which is adorable, reverable, there is an attitude of humility. Isn't it? Otherwise, the respectfulness is not expressed in the form of humility, then it is not at all, that reverential attitude is not there. Yeah. Namrakayaha Bradhanjali Putaha. Namrakayaha means the body should be bent towards that person of reverence. If the Guru is coming, hey Guru, how are you? That very clear. Physical attitude itself shows that you do not have any reverence. So here the necessity of expressing that devotion as an external. See, it is like this. When your wife's birthday or You give flower. This the flower is indicator of your appreciation of her. Is it indicate? No, if without the flower you don't love her or what? No, flower giving is a way of expressing how important you to me, how loving you to me. Right? Mother's Day. What other days not Mother's Day? Some Mother's Day. So on that day you express specially. Not that other days are, it's not my mother. So in the same way, that very aradhya bhakti, aradhana bhakti, that feeling of reverential devotion is expressed in the form of humility, namrakayaha baddhanjali putaha. The little bent body with the hand having the salutation, both the hands together. And then prashraya sevanaihi, prashrayascha sevanani cha. Prashraya sevanani taihi ityartha. Tatra prashrayah minita vakyutvatvam sevanani sashtanga namaskara tat pada savahana tat ukta karanadini taihi tam aradhya samsevya. It is said, there are two words, prashraya and sevana. Prashraya is vinita vakyam vaktvam. The words that you utter towards your guru should be loaded with humility. Vinita vaktvam. You cannot, I mean, it is traditionally said, and it is also right. One cannot speak to the guru the way he would speak to others. That there should be an expressed, form of reverence. In the South Indian tradition, in front of the teacher, I mean, it may look very exaggerated, but it is, they will keep their hand like this, so that when you're speaking, the saliva and other things that should not fall at his presence. So even in Middle Eastern tradition, they say wow, wow, right? What did they do? Not just this. So okay, you take it, you do salute. What does it mean? What does this mean? I salute, meaning I bow down. Actually, it should be like this, not. Even in the military, they have that, right? If the officer, you know it. You do like this or you do like this. Down, right? See, down. It should be down. It should be that I bow down to you. So that is what is, and also speaking also with reverence. When you say sir, adding sir to every, yes sir, your command sir, what does that mean? I am not above you. So vinita vaktvam sevanani. What is sevana? Sashtanga namaskara. At the feet of the guru, there should be all the 8 parts of your body should be on the floor. What is 8 parts of the body? Head, nose, both the cheeks, both the shoulders, both the knees, both the toes should be on the ground. Sa ashta anga namaskar. It is to say that when you stand, it is symbolically what happens is when you stand in front of guru or the teacher, your shadow is as tall as yourself. Right? Let us say the light is coming from behind. The shadow is as short, as big as just to stand. When you kneel down, how big is your shadow? To that extent small. When you completely on the ground, where is the shadow?
No shadow.
No shadow. Shadow represents ego. When you stand, your ego is that much. When you bow down, when you kneel down, to that extent, when you do complete namaskar, sashtanga namaskar, then there is no ego. That is why in front of the teachers or in front of the great masters, one should fall completely on the floor, Dandavat pranam, like a stick. The tradition says that is to symbolically express that there is no ego at all in front of him. See, every religion has got certain ways of expressing the devotion, love, respect, etc. No religion is an exception. Every religion has got. Why go that far? As I said, in military or anything else also, certain things you will not know why you are doing, but you have to do. When we know the reason, it will be more, you'll be more understanding, and doing it is important. So when in front of God, when there's a Sashtanga Namaskar, it is to show that I have absolutely renounced my ego in front of you. Tad pada savahana tad ukta karanatini. Pada sevanam meaning doing actions that are commanded or told by the teacher. Taihi tam aradhya, with those things having revered and regarded the teacher, some savior. Rijuvya taya sevaya, by straightforward and fulfilling those seva, the services, prasanna swabhimukam tam anuprapya, and noticing that by this service that I have rendered, the teacher is happy, pleased, and gracious, tam anuprapya, yada samaya nirdesham tat sannidau yata vidhi stitva. And in that very place where the teacher is, as per the appropriate time, standing there, jnatavyam jijnasitam atma yadatma vishaye tat prachet. Then you ask the question. Gurudev used to say that when he was about to get into the train, he's going to another place, one foot already in the train, another foot is about to be removed from the platform. That time one fellow comes, Swamiji, I have a question. What is Hinduism? What is Vedanta? When he was about to leave, having listened to him for a whole week, when are you asking questions? Then Gurudev used to say, I gave him only one single sentence. Detach and attach, go. Detach from the world and attach to Bhagavan. Finished. So people do not know when to ask question also. It is said in Ramayana, when Sita is already been taken away by Ravana and Bhagavan Rama was waiting for Sugriva to finally send his monkey army to help him, but the rains have begun. Therefore, he is sitting there all by himself, looking at the nature. At that time, when the pleasant scenery there, and he was quietly sitting there, then Lakshmana slowly comes. Can I ask you a question? What is Maya? What is Brahman? What is Atma Brahma Aikyatvam? This is called Ramagita. So the first portion itself says, when should ask the question? So here, that's what, yes, yata samaya nirdesham, tatsannido yata vidhi stitva, atmanah jnatavyam prachet. Bhaktya prahvaha prashraya sevanaihi aradhya idi anena aradhayidum manasi vachasi kayecha shuddhatva rupa trikarana shuddhi rukta. By saying prashnam, what do you call, aradhya gurum bhaktya prahva prashraya sevanaihi. By saying that, gurum bhaktya meaning aradhya means manashuddhi. Mind should be clean and pure. Prahva, by saying that humility, showing physical body is also showing the humility. Prashraya and sevana shows that walk also must be pure. Meaning kaya, walk, manashuddhi. Body should be expressing that purity by the salutations. Walk shuddhi by speaking the correct word with humility, and kaya shuddhi by doing the seva. So this way, having gone to the teacher who is filled with compassion, with the proper attitude of surrender, what he should ask. So the student is asking a question. What is that? Swamin namaste nataloka bandho
Swamin namaste nataloka bandho
karunya sindho patitam bhavabdho
karunya sindho patitam bhavabdhau
mamuddaratmiya kataksha drishtya
Muttaratmiya kataksha drishtya
ऋज्व्यादि कारुण्य सुधा विवृष्ट्या
Vijvati karunya sudha bhivrishtya
स्वामिन् नमस्ते नतलोक बन्धो कारुण्य सिन्धो पतितं भवाब्धौ मामुद्धरात्मीय कटाक्ष दृष्ट्या ऋज्व्यादि कारुण्य सुधा विवृष्ट्या. The student says, Hey Swamin, O the master, Te Namaha. Salutations to you, Swamin Namaste. And Nataloka Bandho, hey, the friend of one who is a friend of all those people who have surrendered. Nataloka Bandho. Karunya Sindho, oh, the ocean of compassion. Aham Patitam Bhavabdhau. I, the one who is now Patitam, fallen into this Bhavabdi, one which is called the ocean of change. Mam, Patitam Bhavabdhau Mam, Uddhara, please lift. Atmiya Kataksha Drishtya, by your side glance. Kataksha, Kataksha means side glance. Drishtya, with the vision of your side glance. Rijavya Adhikarunya Sudha Vivrishtya, by straight flow of the nectar coming out of your own eyes. Karunya Sudha Vivrishtya. Now it's very interesting. Beautifully, the discussion is given here. Natanam Kruta Natinam Slokanam Jananam Bandhuhu Dukka Mochakaha Tasya Sambaddho Nataloka Bandho. He the one who is able to release the people from their own bondages, those who have surrendered in their mind, body, and speech for the sake of learning this knowledge. Tasya Sambuddho Nataloka Bandho. Okay, Swamin Prabho, Te Tubhyam Namaha. Prahvi Bhavaha Asitu Tvati Sheshaha. Astitva, Astuiti, Astuiti. Prahvi Bhavaha Astuiti Sheshaha. There may there be an attitude of complete humility and surrender be there in me. Now, yat nataloka dukkha mochakha ataha tvam dukkha muktyai namami. Why am I saluting to you? Because I know that you alone can remove the true bondage and make me release from it. Tatra hetumaha karunya sindhu iti sambodhanena vivrutam etat ahetukataya sindhu rityatra. Earlier we have seen that he is the ocean of compassion without any reason. Causeless compassion, which we have seen in the previous verse. That's what he says. Swakiyam dukkam nivedayati bhavabdau patitam. My own, not only, that this guru must be one who himself is released from his own sorrows, obviously, but he is capable of removing mine also. This is true with the doctors also, right? You go to a doctor and the doctor himself is very sick. Then what you do? Oh, you are I will give you medicine. You will run away from you yourself are so sick, and how are you going to give medicine to me? One fellow went to a dentist and he smiled and there is no teeth at all. So that kind of a dentist I don't want to go to. So obviously that guru must be filled with joy only, with who is not bound by the world. Then only he can release me out of it. If he himself is bound, then he will pull me also into that. Janma, Jara, Roga, Marana, Anartha Sankule, Samsara Samudre, Aham Patitam. See here, Bhavabdhau Patitam Mam. What is this Bhavabdi? What is this ocean of change? Things that we cannot stop. Like Janma, birth, Jara, old age, Roga, disease, Marana, death, Anartha. All kind of other, so many different calamities, either created by us or created by the people around us or created by the nature. Go with Swamiji, who created it. Why are you bothered now? Because it is there everywhere. Nobody wants to take responsibility also. So these are all the things which we cannot avoid. So that which you cannot avoid, but you have to be in it. That is called Bhavabdi. The ocean of change for which there is no solution, but to only bear it. The only solution to that is from the Guru, having understood my own true nature, which is free of everything. When I abide in that higher nature, then and then alone there is a possibility of coming out. Otherwise, one is caught in the whirlpool of this. Janma, Jara, Roga, Marana, Anartha Sankule, Samsara Samudre, Patitam, Idanim Tan Nivrittim Prartayate Ma Uddharayit. Please lift me away from this thing. Janmadi Bandi Nirmuktam Kuru Ityartha. Please remove me from this bondages started from birth onwards. Janmadi Banda Nirmuktam Kuru Ityartha. Tatra Sadhanam Yachate Atmiya Kataksha Drishtya. By your side glance. What is the side glance? You have to see next week only. We'll look for the side glance next week. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah.